Hi, I'm Jasmine Nicole. Welcome to the Motivational Mystic, a space for authentic, higher conscious conversations to motivate, inspire, and empower. Thanks for listening. Each week, I'll drop a new conscious raising episode. Let's dive in.
Sometimes rejection is protection. It's a pretty common phrase people have heard before, but I think it's a phrase we can all relate to because we have all experienced situations in our life where you have felt rejected. In that moment, it's a hard pill to swallow. It was a harsh reality to face, but in retrospect, a lot of those situations, if you look back on them, you can see that the rejection you experienced was for a reason, possibly even for your protection. Dealing with rejection can be a humbling experience. Then you get to a place of acceptance where you become at peace with the feelings of rejection. Because if it doesn't work out, it probably wasn't for your highest good. Rejection can come in many forms, whether it's from a person, place, or thing. Rejection brings you to instant awareness that you're not always going to have control of every aspect of your life. And there are times where you will have to sit back and become a student of life. Rejection is one of those humbling experiences that puts you in that position. People can become so fixated on achieving a certain outcome, getting a certain thing to go their way, and when that doesn't happen, rejection can be a very devastating feeling to experience in the moment. But eventually, you learn to accept it for what it is. And to piggyback off the last episode, everything's always working out for your highest good. More than likely, the rejection you faced probably happened for a good reason. And oftentimes, you're not going to figure out what that reason was, if ever. But if it does reveal itself to you in time, you may realize it was for your benefit. Maybe there was a guy or a girl that you thought you had a spark or a connection with, and they didn't feel the same way. It sucks in the moment, but you get over it. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Maybe you were waiting on an acceptance letter to get into a school, a program, or some type of membership, and you got rejected. It sucks in the moment, but there's always an alternative timeline, a better possibility out there, because in the end, everything is always working out for your highest good. So get comfortable with the notion that rejection is sometimes for your protection. Even abandonment can also fall under the rejection is protection umbrella. Abandonment is a form of rejection. There may be people listening who've dealt with abandonment from a group, a family, a social circle, or a club, but that type of rejection can also be for your protection. You might have been placed in a position where your morals, your likeliness to be corrupted, or your values are too moral, too just, so that rejection, that exclusion or abandonment from that particular group was for your protection, was for your highest good. Because your values will not allow you to be ensnared into someone else's chaos, into someone else's mess or shenanigans. So it's important to be mindful to not be so quick to react to rejection in a negative way. Let it sink in. Process it. I'm sure many people out there can relate to this. I know when I've faced rejection in my life, it is something I have later had affirmed to me that it was for my highest good, for my protection. Through those experiences, I learned it's best to have patience and accept when the universe presents a scenario to you in which you experience rejection. It's one of the many elements of this game called life. No one always gets what they want. One of the many elements of this game is you're going to sometimes face rejection. I know for me, personally, in time, I've noticed the reason for certain periods of rejection in my life were revealed to me. And in some circumstances, it was for my protection. And in other circumstances, it was just a lesson. I can definitely say that. It was a lesson learned. A hard reality, a cold truth. But within all scenarios, there was still something gained. There was still something learned, or maybe even avoided. There are a lot of success stories out there about people who dealt with rejection and used it as a catalyst to become a better version of themselves. Let's use Michael Jordan, for example. He ended up becoming one of the greatest basketball players of his time. He was very vocal about how he was rejected from making his high school basketball team. So he put in the work to develop his skills, practicing to make himself better, and he tried out for the team the following year and made the team. Michael Jordan took the time to pour into himself and make himself better to eventually go on to become what many may say is the greatest basketball player of all time. And there's a lesson in that. Michael's story shows you to take rejection and turn it into reciprocity. Accept rejection for what it is and put the energy and effort into self-development. When you're dealing with rejection, that is the best time to pour into yourself, to indulge in self-care. It's okay to take some time to lick your wounds, man. Sometimes it hurts. It can feel unfair, but hopefully it's not permanent. Whatever scenario you find yourself in, you'll bounce back from it. In those moments, that is when prioritizing self-care is important. Ladies, take yourself on a spa day. Get you a nice massage and relax. Men like a good spa day too, so we can't exclude them either. Go for a walk in nature, the beach, or a lake if you live near a body of water. Go do whatever relaxes you. Do something where you can enjoy moments of peace, tranquility, quiet, or happiness. A self-care day, whatever that looks like for you. Nurture yourself. Love on yourself. That's the best way to handle rejection and to remember you are being protected. So within that protective bubble of rejection you find yourself in, love on yourself, pour into yourself. Take care of you, prioritize yourself. And as always, this too shall pass, and you look onward to better days. So, rejection is that humbling experience that reminds you that you will sometimes need to take on a student of life perspective, which will help you to come to a place of seeing that rejection is protection. Because as high vibrational beings, we know everything is always working out for our highest good. No one likes the feeling of being rejected, but how you deal with that rejection matters. Michael took his scenario of rejection and used it for self-development. And as I said before, there is a lesson in that. When you're faced with rejection, don't use that as an opportunity to get down on yourself. Use it as a catalyst for self-development, whether it's you work harder to get something that you want to achieve, you do a better job of prioritizing yourself, or you pour into yourself. Pour into yourself is important. Just taking care of yourself, taking the time to self-reflect, to self-indulge during periods of rejection is really important to keep you balanced, to keep you centered, to keep you from dwelling down a rabbit hole of negativity. Because we all experience rejection. I think that is just kind of like a universal thing that everyone is going to experience in their life. You can't avoid it. It's just part of the game. But how you deal with it, how you choose to bounce back from it, matters. Are you resilient or are you self-defeated? Do you want to put your time and energy into something that's going to better your life, or you just want to sit around and dwell on what didn't work out? The next step after rejection really is the trajectory of what sets you up for your next chapter, your next act, your next plan or goal, or your next move, right? So it's just, obviously rejection hurts. You take that opportunity to indulge in self-care, lick your wounds a little bit. Nothing wrong with that, like I said, but we don't want to get stuck there. Use it as a springboard to catapult yourself somewhere else. And in those periods of rejection, again, this too shall pass, but looking onward and upward to more positive and better days is key. It's all about perspective and keeping your focused, your mentality, your drive in a positively oriented direction so you can turn that setback into a stepping stone to catapult you to your next level. Well, that's all I had for today, everyone. Until next time, goodbye.